What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are doing part 6 of our Hardcore Druid Companion build series. And just like in the initial Capstone dungeon I did in Tier 2, we're going to go ahead and go over our different aspects. So right here on the helmet we have Aspect of Might for damage reduction. We have Cyclonic Force on the chest piece, just for that extra damage reduction to ourselves as well as our companions. Lightning Dancer aspect, just to give us that, give us more AoE damage to clear out those mob packs. Disobedience, because armor's overpowered and armor is a must. And then this is a new one, so Exploiter on the boots, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but I want to go back to that once we kind of go over everything. And then Shepherds, obviously we want that core skill damage from our companions. Then we have Ring of Stampede for an additional companion, and I believe we still have we still have Loop of the Alpha, so we're just, really just having the werewolves. It's a flex spot. You can use whatever you want, but I just enjoy having the werewolves. And then the Overcharged Necklace for that, big single target damage when it procs. And then we're moving into Spirit Boons after this, and Spirit Boons were pretty much the same. We got Weariness, and we got Advantageous Beast on the deer, and we're bonded into the deer. Swooping attacks on the eagle. We have Pack Leader on the wolf, and then we have Overload on the serpent, as you'll see here in just a second. And that's really what I've been enjoying running with so far. And then we'll be moving into the abilities here and into our Paragon board. So for the most part, the Paragon board, I really like to invest a lot of points heavily in these initial two boards, and I will kind of take those points out in certain areas and place them in other areas as we move into the later into the end game. But I really like to pick up those initial armor rare nodes and damage increase rare nodes. And then I ended up picking up Glyph of the Human. I don't know why I keep saying Glyph. Glyph of the Human, just to give us that damage reduction while in human form and more damage while in human form. And then we ended up picking those two rare nodes up at the top there. And then we got we got Devastation over here for our nature magic skill damage. We picked up the Glyph of Fulminate, so we get that lightning damage as well as that increased damage to healthy and injured enemies. And then just some more defensive and offensive rare nodes. Nothing really significant here. Again, if I feel the need, I'll pull points from there as we continue into the late game. And then we end up picking up legendary node Constricting Tendrils just for more immobilization, and then increased damage there. And then superiority for, more damage to crowd controlled enemies. And, with all the immobilizes, it kind of helps. And then some more armor here with some resistances. So this is a pretty nice node. I think it'll be made even better into Season 2. And then starting on our third Paragon board here. And this is a pretty good Paragon board. It's the one that gives Spirit Return on critical hits with werewolf skills. I forget the exact name of the Paragon board. But if we ever pick up a Tempest Roar helmet, we will probably move into that legendary node. But until then, we're probably going to just move right into the Glyph slot and then right out of the board really fast. So going back to that Exploiter aspect, and we're just going to go ahead, like I said, we're going right into the Fallen Temple here. And so yeah, the Exploiter aspect is really nice because not only does it give you that increased duration of your crowd control effects, which it's pretty significant. It's like 20%, and you notice it quite heavily on your Poison Creeper. But if enemies are unstoppable, it gives you a pretty significant damage buff against them. So I was pretty happy with that aspect. I was really kind of going back and forth as to what aspect I wanted to use on my boots. And when I ended up picking that up, I was like, yeah, that's definitely the go-to. I definitely felt a sizable difference in the duration of my crowd control effects, as well as, that extra damage it gives you if enemies are unstoppable. So it's definitely a nice aspect to pick up, but again, you can kind of flip that however you want. I will say there are so many different ways that I can kind of go with this build, and I am having a blast playing this companion build. I didn't think I would have such a good time. Obviously it's not the insane damage, and I am kind of handicapping myself. I'm not using some of the better Malignant Hearts. I'm trying to stay away from the Barber Heart. I just kind of want to, I don't really want to utilize anything that's too over-tuned, I guess, in my opinion. And that's just because I want to get a real idea as to how well this build functions before maybe I start slapping on some of the more powerful things. And like I said, I've been having a really good time. And it's funny because when you have some of those more powerful builds, you kind of don't have to engage with some of the mechanics that are in place in the game. And honestly, with this build, I feel like I've gotten a really good idea as to all the different kind of enemies that there are, as well as what they do, and better placement of my overall hero to not absorb so much damage. But yeah, as you can see here, we're moving pretty nicely. Getting some pretty heavy damage off of our lightning storm. Our companions are surviving quite well with that cyclone. I was actually pretty surprised at how well cyclone is keeping them alive. I think just because you have that aspect, I have that aspect of cyclonic force, and it gives us that physical damage reduction as well as elemental damage reduction, that it just makes it just that much better for our companions. And we're able to keep our wolves up pretty easily. And even when they do die, they respawn relatively fast. So I'm pretty happy so far with how the build's going. I didn't really get any good uniques through tier 3, as you could see. It was really, I was having, so honestly, I probably picked up 5 or 6 Mad Wolf's Glees. I probably picked up 5 or 6 Zenith rings, but nothing that I actually needed. And I was still hoping overall to get, like I said, a Tempest Roar helmet and Storm Companion pants. Now, I will say that I believe I'm currently at level 75 or 76, and I will be putting out another video really soon here into the end game. And I did end up getting a pair of Storm Companion pants, and so I'm quite excited to talk about them. So I'll probably save that for, I'm going to be saving that for the next video, but I'm pretty excited to talk about them. I have kind of mixed feelings about how they work and their overall effect on the companion skills, but I think that I'm enjoying them quite nicely. They are kind of, starting to they are starting to kind of, pay off a little bit in terms of the overall damage. And I definitely see where they can improve them slightly and really turn those and really turn that unique into something really cool, like almost like the Crone staff. And then obviously we want that Tempest Roar just so that way we can take this build in a dramatically different direction. So I will be making a kind of overview of how I would build this build out if without the Tempest Roar helmet, and then I will hopefully I'll eventually get the Tempest Roar helmet, and then I can really showcase what I believe this build is capable of. And I might even do a couple extra little branches off of the build just to kind of showcase how effective companions can be, even if not for their direct damage, but for what they can kind of give you through the aspect of the shepherd. But we're almost done here with this capstone. You see, we did pretty well, and I did leave in this entire run through this dungeon because unlike the second capstone dungeon in tier 2, this is only like a single floor till you get to Elias, so you don't really have to go too crazy. You don't have to do the entire one floor and then an entire second floor. And I felt like it would give you guys an idea as to how well, this build is actually functioning through an entire dungeon as opposed to just, snippets of individual segments of dungeons. I just kind of want to, just give you a better idea as to how the build's functioning. Now, I did get some pretty decent rolls overall with my crit chance and my lucky hit chance on my gear pieces. However, I will say that, this build does lack quite a bit of mobility. I'm still missing the even as we're making this video now at tier 4, and I do have all ancestral gear. I'm still missing a decent chunk of movement speed that will really help me kind of move through the game a little better. And I believe you can even tell in this video, moving in and out of different AoEs is quite difficult sometimes, especially when you don't have that faster movement speed. And if your dodge isn't off cooldown, then you're moving kind of slow. And you'll see throughout the video, I do get caught every now and again with an AoE CC, but because we have that, we've invested so heavily in our crowd control reduction, I don't really have to worry too much about dying. And we don't have a potion up here. So you'll see down at the bottom there, I basically went ahead and chanced it. You know, we don't have any potions up, so we don't have like the extra life from that. I forget what the potion's called, but I pretty much rock that potion all the time in tier 4 just because, you know, I don't want to die. But yeah, we didn't. We decided against it for this, just because I felt like, you know, we were 68, the dungeon's at 70. I was clearing 5 levels above in terms of nightmare dungeons pretty easily, so I felt pretty okay to do it without any kind of potion. Now, obviously, if I had a DC'd or anything, I'd probably feel pretty stupid about that. But I don't think the potion would have helped me regardless, because, you know, if you DC, it's pretty much it's your doom there. It spells doom for your character. But overall, like I said, doing pretty well here. I will say that it is kind of sucky that they have every single different, you know, skill on a different lucky hit chance. So, you know, you really don't get to see those procs as much as if, say, you were using like a crone staff, which is kind of unfortunate. I wish they would just do like a blanket amount of lucky hit chance, and then it scales with your lucky hit chance, like much like critical hit chance does. So maybe give everything a 10% chance to lucky hit, and then instead of utilizing the lucky hit chance to make a percent of a percent, maybe just add that flat percent, much like critical hit chance. So I think I had about 23% lucky hit chance here. So if they were to change it to that way, it would be, you know, say they gave you 10% lucky hit chance, and I'd have like about 33% chance to lucky hit. And I think that would just be an overall better way of kind of utilizing that lucky hit chance system, instead of making it, you know, kind of a percent of a percent as you scale your lucky hit chance, because that really doesn't work well with some of these abilities that have super low lucky. I'm not sure even who designed, like who came up with the numbers in terms of lucky hit chance, but it really doesn't scale the best, I should say. And then you see here we are at Elias, and I will say something great about the wolves here. So I was kind of worried about Elias. There you go. You see the movement speed. It's not the best. But I was kind of worried about Elias because he has a lot of AoE skills. And I was worried in terms of how much damage you would end up doing to me and the possibility of me dying here. But while playing the game, I've kind of developed this habit of staying behind my wolves, and boy, did they tank a ton of the AoE damage that he deals. So as you can see there, I might have dropped down in life, you know, a couple times, but nothing that really put me in danger of death. And we finished up that boss pretty easily. And then you'll see here we are going to tier 4. Now, like I said, I am firmly in tier 4, firmly in the end game, and I will be making a new video after this one relatively soon. But that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did so, please go ahead and subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do, or just leave a comment in the comments section. Anything is appreciated. But that's all for me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and peace out.